Welcome back to Grade 7 Math. This is lesson number 4.3, Use Outcomes to Predict Probabilities. In today's lesson, we are going to take a closer look at how to use outcomes to predict probabilities. We will use two methods for solving today's first sample problem. For the first problem, we will use the tree diagram method we learned last class. We will solve the same problem by making a list of outcomes without drawing a tree diagram. Problem number 1. Brian and John decide who gets a copy of Detective Comics number 27 by tossing a coin 3 times. Whoever wins 2 coin tosses gets the comic. Brian chooses heads for each toss, while John chooses tails. What is the probability that John will win the coin toss and get the comic? So here's our tree diagram. So as you can see, the first toss, we have our initial 2 branches, heads and tails. But then moving on to our second toss, we need 2 more branches, again heads and tails. We have to do the same at the bottom. Now we're going to take this even further with the third toss. So again, for each branch, again, we need to draw 2 more branches for heads and tails, and we need to do that for all 4 branches from the second toss. Okay, and then here we can see our sample outcomes. 3 H's, 2 heads in the tail, heads, tail, heads, and so on. Now, looking at this, we can see that there are 4 outcomes showing 2 tails. Got 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the probability of John winning is 4 out of a possible 8, or 1 over 2. Method number 2. Let's make a list of outcomes. And we can actually do this without drawing the whole tree diagram. Okay, we can't rush. But here are all of the possible outcomes. And it's the same list of 8 which we got when we drew the tree diagram. The favorable outcomes for John are 3 tails, and then these 3 other combinations that show at least 2 tails. So the probability of John winning is the number of favorable outcomes divided by the total number of outcomes. And there were 4 favorable out of 8 in total, so that means 4 out of 8 or 1 out of 2. Okay, let's take a look at this deck of cards. The face cards, Jack, Queen, and King, have been removed, meaning that there are 40 cards. Okay, ignore the 2 cards in the top right corner. Okay, let's predict the probability of the following. The 8 of spades, any 9 card, and any black card. So you know what, folks? I'm going to leave this problem to you to try at home. So you're going to pause the video, try determining the answers, and then we will discuss this in class tomorrow. So pause the video now. Okay, good stuff. So after we go over that last problem together in class, you'll be given time to work out of your textbook on a variety of probability questions. But for now, this ends today's video.